The modern era of immigration began in 1965 with the Immigration and Nationality Act, which abolished the United States' previous quota system based on national origin and established a new immigration policy based on attracting skilled labor to the United States. Previous immigration was focused on reuniting families that had been separated, as some immigrated earlier than others. The new form of immigration would be enticing those with previous work experience to benefit the United States with labor. The bill signed in 1965 marked a dramatic break with past immigration policy, and in the first 5 years after the bill's passage, the demographic of America would completely change with a majority of immigrants now coming from Asia, Africa, and Latin America instead of Europe. Immigration to the U.S. from Asian countries alone would more than quadruple. In the 3 decades following the passage of the Immigration and Naturalization Act of 1965, more than 8 million legal immigrants entered the United States. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, illegal immigration was a constant source of political debate as immigrants continued to sneak into the United States through Canada and Mexico. The Immigration Reform Act in 1986 attempted to address the issue by providing better enforcement of immigration policies and creating more possibilities to pursue legal immigration. The act collectively granted forgiveness to 3 million illegal immigrants residing in the United States. In 1996, Congress tried to further address the issue with the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, which discussed border enforcement and the use of social programs by immigrants. It attempted to increase penalties on immigrants by deporting illegal immigrants if they broke the United States law.
Bill Clinton's presidency marked the first true clampdown on immigration since the early 20th and late 19th centuries. His immigration policy was all about the government being more diligent and involved in immigration and immigration services. At the time, there were large numbers of illegal aliens entering the country, and many Americans were concerned with the massive influx. They feared for their jobs, were concerned about taxpayer burdens in running social programs for immigrants, and they wanted a firm response. President Clinton moved to aggressively secure American borders by hiring a record number of new border guards, deporting twice as many criminal aliens than ever before, cracking down on illegal hiring, and barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. He also attempted to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who were arrested for crimes and created practices to better identify aliens in the workplace. In his 1995 State of the Union address, Bill Clinton stated, "We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse our immigration laws have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it." He believed that it was time for the U.S. to take an active role in controlling immigration, and immigration policy under President Clinton demonstrated those sentiments.
Of illegal immigration. After years of neglect, this administration has taken a strong stand to stiffen the protection of our borders. We are increasing border controls by 50%. We are increasing inspections to prevent the hiring of illegal immigrants. And tonight I announce I will sign an executive order to deny federal contracts to businesses that hire illegal immigrants. Let me be very clear about this. We are still a nation of immigrants. We should be proud of it. We should honor every legal immigrant here working hard to be a good citizen, working hard to become a new citizen. But we are also a nation of...
Build that wall. 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 Build that wall.
Today's issues with immigration are still very focused on illegal immigrants and their status in America. The current president, Donald J. Trump, has taken a very hard stance against illegal immigration, taking steps to curb it, such as building a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. He has been extremely vocal about illegal immigration in the U.S., saying, "We must have strong borders and stop illegal immigration. Without that, we do not have a country."
President Trump has enacted a lot of measures regarding immigration in his presidency. In 2017 alone, President Trump banned nationals of 8 countries, with most of them having majority Muslim population, from entering the United States. Trump lowered the allowed refugee population from 110,000 in 2017 to a record low of 30,000 in 2019, the lowest number since 1980. He increased the number of unauthorized immigrant arrests within the U.S. and has ended the designation of temporary protected status for nationals of Haiti, Nicaragua, and Sudan, resulting in Honduras and possibly Salvadorans losing their work authorization and protection in America. During his presidency, Trump has been strengthening immigration enforcement by increasing vetting and obstacles to obtain legal immigration. President Trump is currently committed to building a border wall along the U.S.-Mexican border for the cost of $5.7 billion to ensure the fast removal of illegal immigrants, an idea that won him the presidential election in 2016. His general idea with the border wall is to halt the ability for illegal aliens to cross the Mexican border into South America. To further protect American workers, President Trump wants to end chain migration, eliminate the visa lottery, and implement a merit-based entry system for immigrants. To President Trump, these measures will protect Americans and make America safe and great again. However, despite current President Donald Trump's measures to remove a vast amount of undocumented citizens currently residing in America, many Americans disagree with this form of action. Many Democrats do not agree with the stark removal of all undocumented immigrants and DACA recipients. Democrats as a whole tend to focus more on a stricter border enforcement rather than stripping the livelihoods of undocumented immigrants already settled. Take former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton debating illegal immigration with then presidential candidate Donald Trump during the 2016 election.
Weeks ago in Phoenix that every undocumented person would be subject to deportation. Now here's what that means. It means you would have to have a massive law enforcement presence where law enforcement officers would be going school to school, home to home, business to business, rounding up people who are undocumented. And we would then have to put them on trains, on buses to get them out of our country. I think that is an idea that is not in keeping with who we are as a nation. I think it's an idea that would rip our country apart.
Democrats have championed protecting immigration reform rather than immigration removal. Former President Barack Obama was a big supporter of immigrant rights, and his immigration policies were favorable towards immigrants. During his presidency, he announced that undocumented residents under the age of 30 would be allowed to reside in the United States if they meet a set of criteria, like having arrived in the United States before the age of 16, having a high school diploma, GED, or serving in the military. In addition, President Obama implemented Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, which protected eligible immigrant youths who came to the United States when they were children from deportation. DACA helps protect over 650,000 undocumented Americans. Obama believed that the U.S. should be a country of opportunity for all and should protect citizens who can help their community. His policies are focused on allowing immigrants to stay and remain in the U.S. and become productive, contributing members of the American society. Current President Trump policies are a stark contrast, as they are restrictive and unfavorable towards foreign immigration policies, no matter the quality of their citizenship. The Democrats currently advocate for protecting border security as a means to prohibit unwanted citizens from entering the border. It divides America in that many believe the deportation of citizens to be extremely inhumane and detrimental to society.
My name is Carlos Adolfo Gonzalez. I am originally from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, but for the past 16 years I've been in the United States, and for the majority of that time I've lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Work normal 9 to 5. For fun, what I like to do is dance. My father was diagnosed with cancer, and he was the main breadwinner. He passed away relatively quickly after 6 months of struggling with cancer. And that left the responsibility of caring for my 2 sisters and me solely on my mother. She decided to come to the U.S. in search of better opportunities for us.
Today's current immigration is at a crosshairs as to whether enough is enough and borders need to be closed and restricted, or whether we should continue to keep our borders open and be more lenient with immigration laws. This issue has always been prevalent in America's society. However, now more than ever, it has become a major issue, with the government divided on how to act. Republicans, led by President Trump, are pushing for more restrictive immigration policy and want to limit the influx of immigrants, especially illegal ones. Democrats, however, believe in America with the ability to adhere to its fundamentals of supporting immigration reform rather than removal. The topic of immigration is extremely controversial and decisive in today's society and will continue to be at the forefront of government policy in the near future.